Good morning, Santa Clarita. Happy Friday. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson, and it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm looking at a friend of mine's post that says, "It is officially wear a sweater in the morning and regret it in the afternoon weather." And absolutely it is. Absolutely. Our show, Eye on the Valley. You know us. Here we go. Have another sip of coffee. Eye on the Valley. We are brought to you by SCVi and iLead Schools. We are a network of free public charter schools. That is right. Charter schools are public schools. Public schools are free, and we are no exception. We've got campuses right here in Castaic on the west side of town, in Agua Dulce, here on the east side of town, Lancaster. We've also got a fully accredited online school. You're going to hear all about that online school today. Gosh, they are absolutely blowing up. We've got a home study program called iLead Exploration. You know, kids are different. They learn differently, and they need different things, which is why we have different schools, different formats. We've got, like I said, online, full independent study, hybrid, and fully classroom-based. So check us out at iLeadSchools.org to find out which school is right for you and your children. So, we keep our eye on education here in Santa Clarita and across the nation. But like the show says, we keep our eye on the Valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley. And we also giggle and chuckle a little bit while we're taking the ride, because, you know, if you're not giggling, if you're not laughing, you're just not doing it right, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, hang on to that. Use it as your mantra as well. It gets me in trouble once in a while, but, you know, if you're not getting in trouble once in a while, you're doing it wrong. So, let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, happy Friday. It is a little crisp out this morning. It is absolutely wonderful, and we're celebrating the holidays here today. No, not Halloween yet. It's still a little early for that, despite what I'm looking at here around the studio. But, you know, here on Eye on the Valley, we celebrate the holidays every day, because every day is a holiday. If you're looking deep enough, you know, you'll find that there's a holiday, typically half a dozen holidays every single day of the year. So what are we celebrating today? Today is National Care for Kids Day. It is National Tradesman Day. It is also National Fried Rice today. Yeah, there's a reason to celebrate. It's National Pepperoni Pizza Day. Get down. National String Cheese Day is today, and it's also National Punch Day. You know, like fruit punch. You're not going to punch your kids or your tradesmen, but what you're going to do is you're going to make a refreshing sweet beverage, probably serve it out of a bowl. So, yeah, happy holiday. You know, take care of your people and serve them, well, gosh, what's sounding like a really weird meal.
Pizza and punch.
And fried rice.
And string cheese. Yeah,
definitely. So, yeah, and as long as we're celebrating, we're going to bring you a really great show today. We've got a fantastic show on Eye on the Valley. Coming up in just a minute, we'll talk to Kate Wolfe, school director at iLead Online. That's that online school I was just telling you about. So far, since the beginning of the school year, you know, we've featured iLead Agua Dulce, which is a classroom-based school campus right here on the east side of town. We've featured iLead AV Exploration, which is that independent study program that we mentioned. SCVi, another classroom-based program. iLead Exploration, that's our home study program. And just last week, we featured for the very first time in the history of our show, iLead Lancaster. That's a classroom-based school up in Lancaster, you guessed it. But next up is our fastest-growing school, iLead Online. This is probably one of the most innovative and unique schools around. They're doing things that you probably wouldn't believe are possible in an online school. You're gonna want to hear all about it. And then in hour number 2, we'll be talking to Kelly O'Keefe. We've talked to Kelly several times, and she has represented several organizations. But Kelly now runs Circle of Hope Santa Clarita, and they support cancer patients in our valley. And they do such an amazing job of it. They've got a really fun event coming up in just a couple of weeks. Actually, a couple of events coming up that you can attend. And so, yeah, we'll hear from Kelly in hour number 2. And then on the back end of the show, as we're winding down and heading into the weekend, because my mother insists on it, we're going to try to welcome my big brother, Big T, in. He's dealing with some some hiccups this morning, so we're hoping to have Big T on like we always do. See, he typically joins us at the end of the show with some fun facts, some trivia, some general horsing around. He's got Papa's Pick of the Week, because Papa's a college football aficionado. So if you like hearing about free innovative educational offerings for TK through 12th grade, inspirational services to those most in need in our valley that you can support, or if you just like goofing off a little bit, then this is the show for you. Hang with us for a couple hours, sip that coffee, enjoy this nice crisp morning, and we're definitely going to put a smile on your face. So like I said, my first guest this morning is the director of iLead Online Public Charter School. Kate Wolfe has been in education, for nearly a quarter century now. She's taught literally every grade from TK all the way through community college, and she's got experience in the traditional brick and mortar education as well as with online and independent study models. Kate grew up right here in Southern California and attended UCLA. That's right, she's a Bruin. Before she launched her education career. She's an incredibly innovative, yet kind and patient educational leader who fosters a collaborative leadership environment at her school, making her, from what I hear, just one of the best bosses you could ever hope to work for. Kate loves horses and spends as much time as she can at the barn with her 4 kids, who also compete in equestrian sports as hunter jumpers. Together with her family, they love to travel, hike, and they love movie nights and takeout Fridays, as well as taking time out for a beach day whenever they can. Kate Wolfe, welcome back to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We always love to have you.
That was a good bio. Wow.
Well, you've got an impressive resume, Kate. So why don't we start here? Why don't you tell us about this amazing school that you run? Because I got to tell you, I was around when your school was first founded, and while I was supportive, I was a little bit skeptical. But over the last few years, I've seen what y'all are doing, and it's absolutely amazing. So give us a quick overview of what iLead Online is and how it differs from traditional school programs.
Sure. So I just have to start by saying that iLead Online is everything that I believe in education, having been in lots of different environments, wanting to homeschool my own kids, wanting them to have a personalized learning experience. So iLead Online is founded in the idea that kids come first and that every kid is unique and learns differently, and they should be allowed to do so. So we are a free public charter school. We are fully online, and kids access all of their learning through a management system called Brightspace, where they can get into all of their projects. They can connect with their teachers, their facilitators, and learn in the way that works best for them. So we serve grades TK all the way up through 12, and we are fully WASC accredited. For our high school learners, we are UCAG. So for our kids that are college bound that want to go to UC schools, we have classes for them. And NCAA approved for our competitive athletes. We serve a lot of kids that need the flexibility in their schedules to practice because they are elite athletes. We serve a lot of kids who are actors, who are on set and need that flexibility and that personalization. We serve a lot of kids that just want to be able to learn the way that works best for them in general. So,
Kate, you mentioned a lot of features that your school offers that are rather unique. You mentioned one that, well, it shouldn't be unique, but you and I have been around in education long enough that we know better. You mentioned that at your school, kids come first. I've been doing this for 30 years, Kate, and it amazes me how many adult-based decisions are made in education, that adults want it this way, adults want it that way, and so it is. So can you talk a little bit more about that? I think it's understandable why that's important. Can you tell us a little bit about how you do that, making student-based decisions?
Sure. So I would say first and foremost, our model allows for that. So being online, means that we can hire a full team of staff that are flexible like our kids are. And our kids are supported by individual teachers like you would in high school, but they also get an academic coach who works with them directly to kind of guide them. We think of them as like, I think you've used the term educational concierge.
Yes.
I have a friend who calls it like a educational Sherpa.
I love that.
To kind of guide them up the mountain. So they help them pick their classes. They check in on them. They connect with parents and partner with them to make sure that we're adjusting content as needed, or, adjusting classes or projects, things like that. So I think that extra layer of that coach to walk alongside them in addition to the teachers that they have really makes a difference and provides that wraparound support. And our model, like I said, because our model is based all on flexibility, that's how we approach everything. So each coach gets a small roster of kids, and their goal is to personalize for that kid. And I think that starting there means that everything flows from there. And so ultimately, our goal is that kids get what they need based on what they tell us and what we see, what we observe through data, through how they're doing in their classes, through what their families are telling us, through what they're telling us. So we listen a lot.
It seems so simple, but like I said, you and I have been around long enough that we know that's not always the case in schools. So now, Kate, you talked about how you're different than what most folks know from the traditional brick and mortar school, but you're not the only online school out there, are you? There's plenty of other online schools in this space. What makes iLead Online's approach to education unique compared to other online platforms?
That's a great question. I think when a lot of people think of online school, they think of you sit somebody in front of a computer and they either have to log into like a Zoom, and that's how their participation is tracked. How long are you sitting in front of that computer? Or they're given sort of a packet and some stuff to read and a multiple choice test. And then it's like, okay, go for it. We are the exact opposite of that. While kids can access their projects and their courses and everything online, which makes it accessible and flexible, we are very much personable and personalized. So kids have the option to attend live instruction where they can connect with their peers and with their facilitators. They have the option for virtual one-to-one tutoring, which gives them the opportunity to get that personalized support to walk them through assignments and projects. But they also have the flexibility to choose a project and then walk away from the computer. They can go to the tide pools to do science projects. You mentioned my kids do horseback riding. So they can do a project that's all based on animal health and well-being and vet care and connect that to physics and biology and then bring it back, take pictures, draft a journal, and then they turn it in online, and then they get the evaluation and the support all the way through the process of their coaches and their facilitators or their teachers. So it really is real-world hands-on learning, and the online part just gives them the flexibility to do that.
So they're kind of getting their assignments and submitting their work online, but not everything that they're doing is online all day, every day. So based on what you just said and how individualized it is, this next question might not be the best question, Kate. What does the typical day look like for an online student? If I enroll my kid in your school at iLead Online, whether they're in second grade or 11th grade, what does a typical day look like?
So that's going to depend on the kids, to your point, right? Our kids, some of them really like to join the live instruction opportunities we have. So like a kindergartner might get up and have a workspace ready for them and jump onto our virtual campfires, which is what we call our group meetings. Okay. And they get story time and they connect with their friends and they share what they're doing and they get to talk with their teacher, their facilitator, and then they jump off and they go have some fun with projects with their parents or their guardian, or maybe they have siblings, and then they can take pictures and turn things back in again. So it might look like a couple hours in the morning for them. An athlete in high school might have practice in the morning and then might have a work block time where they're working in their classes in the afternoon. So it can truly look different for every single kid, and that's the beauty of what we do.
Yeah, and I've spoken with some of your high schoolers as well as some of your recent graduates. Gosh, talking to some of your recent graduates, they seem like 20, 30-year-olds, but they were telling me, a couple of them saying that one of them was telling me, yeah, I like to set it up like a regular high school where I'll do a little math, a little science, a little English each day, and another one told me, no, I like to set up my math class and in about 3 weeks just jam, knock out my math class, and then go to English class and push things through that way. Is it really that customizable?
It absolutely is. And yes, there are kids that really thrive doing one class at a time and spending all of their focus on that. It helps them to kind of dig deep and dive in and really master the content, and then they move on to their next class. And other kids, as you said, want that more traditional moving through 5 classes at a time or even 7. So we provide that, and that is one of the key roles of the academic coach. They partner with the individual teachers, if you're talking about the high school level, and they customize. They say, okay, this kid's going to do these classes for this long, and we create a customized pacing guide that takes them all the way through the semester, and then we check in with them. We work together as a team. We make sure that they succeed.
So one of the concerns that families might have, Kate, especially with all of us kind of experiencing education online to a certain form coming through COVID, online learning can sometimes feel isolating. I remember being on the air during the pandemic and hearing from a lot of kids about how distance learning really was very isolating. How does iLead Online create a sense of community for students and their families? How do you avoid that pitfall?
Sure. So I would say in lots of different ways, both virtual and in person. We do have live instruction time multiple times a week. So for our littles, that looks like what we call campfire, and they get the opportunity to meet, connect, and share every single day. For our upper school kids and our middle school kids, they also have daily opportunities, but it looks a little bit different. Each of our teachers has live hours where they can check in and connect. Our high school kids have what we call joint advisory. So they have advisory or kind of homeroom with their coaches every single week, and a study hall virtually live every single week, but they also connect together as a high school group every other week for lots of really engaging learning opportunities. So, for example, we had a career day at the end of last year where our coaches crowdsourced and brought in some industry professionals to talk and connect with them. We had an archaeologist, we had a civil engineer, we had a behavioral specialist, and we had a marketing specialist in the music industry. And the kids got to ask questions and connect with their community members. We are having a joint advisory next week where they get to connect and talk about how to register to vote for our kids turning 18 and what that looks like. We have our fall festival for our whole school. That one's virtual, where kids get to jump in and they craft and they connect with their teachers. And I would say, as far as virtually goes, one thing that I consistently hear is that kids are actually connecting with their teachers more than they often did in on-site school, because we have that personalized relationship with each of them. And then beyond that, we have our event calendar for our in-person meetups. So we have a beach bash that we do in Malibu twice a year, usually in the fall and in the spring. Our fall one is coming up. We have hikes that we schedule for kids to meet up with each other and their families and our facilitators. We have a pumpkin patch farm tour and animal presentation coming up in October. Every year we do an Orange County Zoo meetup. And let's see, we also have a marine biology workshop that we do at the Long Beach Aquarium usually every year. And the more we grow, the more facilitators that we welcome, the more families we welcome, the more we also welcome them to plan their own kind of groups and meetups, both in person and virtually. We also have clubs. So we have National Honor Society and California Scholarship Federation. We just started an acting and YouTuber club. Oh, wow. So lots of different fun ways to connect.
It really is interesting. The more you grow, the smaller you get, right? As you're able to develop these these smaller little communities on your virtual campus. That is fantastic. Kate Wolfe is the director of iLead Online Charter School. When we get back, we'll talk more about the incredibly unique and individualized offerings. Kate's already mentioned, about 100 of them, but they've got even more that they're providing to their students. Again, transitional kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. She's also going to tell you how you can enroll. It's not too late. We just started the school year, so stay tuned. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We're talking this morning with Kate Wolfe. Kate is the director of iLead Online Charter School. Kate, you were talking all about your school prior to the break and just all the amazing things that you offer to make sure that, that your kids are getting a high-quality, rigorous education that's completely customized to their needs, to their interests, and you make sure that they're not stuck on a computer all day. So even the name of your school is sort of a misnomer, right? It's an online platform, but your kids aren't online all day, every day. So, Kate, I'm going to give you a little bit of a curveball here. If you were to describe iLead Online in 3 words, what 3 words would you choose? How would you describe your school in just 3 words, Kate?
Oh, Matt. Okay. There's so much.
3 words? Come on.
I would say that.
Hey, wait, there's so much. That's 3 right there.
That's true. I'll leave it at that.
There we go.
There's so much.
There's so much. And you know what?
Without even me trying.
And so let's dive into that a little bit, and I'll try to hit some things that maybe we haven't touched on before. So you mentioned that, for those elite athletes that are going on to play college sports, you are NCAA approved. For your college-going kids that aren't necessarily athletes, all your classes are A through G approved. You've got your kids are doing amazing at the lower levels. Yes, learning to read and learning to play with each other and share and all those different things. But Kate, one of the things I don't know that we've hit hard enough on are your CTE pathways. We're talking about career preparation for your specifically high school learners. Can you touch on some of those programs?
Absolutely, and thank you for asking about that.
Sure.
And it's not just really for high schoolers. Our CTE starts in middle school, really, with some introductory classes for kids to dip their toes into different careers like photography and entrepreneurship and coding. So it gets them kind of introduced to those industries. But iLead Online has a huge array of actually both CTE and AP courses, more than I would say the average school. And I am so proud of just our ability to do that, of our facilitators that offer these things, of these industry professionals that come in and share everything they know with kids. So we offer a full arts, media, and entertainment pathway that starts with everything from how to draw to animation and digital illustration and 2D art and design. And that can also culminate in an AP course for them if they want. We have a full pathway in video production that goes through the history of film and how to write for stage and screen and how to do filmmaking. We have a full business and finance pathway that goes through entrepreneurship and marketing and business leadership and accounting. We have an education, child development, and family services pathway that goes through literacy and language development, and even a brand new health and behavioral science class that goes through mental health and psychology. We have a sports medicine pathway that talks about physiology and anatomy and goes through the need for sports medicine in athletics. And then we have a brand new public services sector that goes through criminal justice, and we're getting into helping kids get their guard card eventually, if that's something that they're interested in. So a huge array. And I actually should have led with the fact that career and technical education is for every kid. It's for a kid that just wants one elective class to kind of explore, and then it's for the kids that are going to college, the kids that are not going to college, to kind of really get in early and often to figure out what they love and how they might want to work that into a career of their choice. And these classes are geared towards, at the end of them, helping kids to be able to walk away with something that they can use, whether it's a portfolio of photographs if they want to be a photographer, whether it's, as I mentioned, a guard card, a business plan for a business that they've built online in our entrepreneurship pathway. There are so many cool options for them.
I love that you say that career and technical education is for every kid. Well, I mean, I guess anybody that's looking to have a career after high school is qualified for career and technical education, right? So I love all the different pathways you offer your kids. It's funny. It's very typical. Kids in junior high, high school, when you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know. I don't know what I want. What a great way for them to, like you said, dip their toe in it and experiment with different careers and get an idea of what it is they enjoy, what it is that they have aptitude for. That is amazing. Kate, you mentioned earlier that you've got some learners that really do need an online platform, something that is flexible because they're acting or they're competing in competitive sports, or they are artists or have full-time jobs while they're in high school. So talk to me about how your staff supports kids who've got these heavy commitments, especially during what we would consider typical school hours. How does your staff work around that? That's got to be complicated.
So it's not really. I mean, I would say it's all about flexibility. It's about having a mindset that we meet each kid where they are, and there's lots of different ways up the mountain. So there are different ways that we do that. In some cases, it's just customizing a schedule. So for that learner that has basketball practice in the mornings, we make room for them to do their work for whatever time they need in the afternoons or the evenings. For a learner that needs to be on set, we collaborate sometimes. We communicate with the set teacher with permission to make sure that we're all in the loop and that kid is getting what they need and that they're working when they need to work. Sometimes that means adjusting their course load. So it means maybe taking 4 courses instead of 6 courses. And then they come in and join us in our Track C, which starts in July, and knock out a couple classes during that first learning period. Sometimes it looks like modifying a class to have a special project. Maybe they can't do 15 assignments every single month, but they can do a really in-depth, mindful project that connects to what they're doing. So maybe if it's an actor, we're connecting their script to their English class. What are they processing? How are they using critical thinking in their regular workday that we can then apply in their learning so that they're not reinventing the wheel when they come to do their schoolwork. We're really digging in and using what they're doing in their industry and in their career and in their passion to apply to what they're learning. Because school doesn't have to be separate from what they're doing and what they're passionate about. For your athlete, let's look at the physics of basketball, right? Like, let's apply what they're doing in their practice to their PE minutes, so that they're really getting a complete approach that embraces what they love and what they're doing during their day.
Yeah, arcs and angles and force and fatigue and, gosh, there's so much math and science that could go into that. And you're right. That's kind of been the knock against education traditionally, right, is when am I ever going to use this out of school? And, if a teacher can't answer that question, then why the heck are you teaching that, right? And it's funny, Jen and I were joking about that during the commercial break of, I haven't used that since I was in 5th grade. Well, you're connecting things to the real life. Kids are doing real life, and that's how they're getting their education. That's what school should be, Kate. So,
that's what I think.
Right? So one of the things that I hear when I talk about independent study or online learning is the parents will oftentimes go to themselves. Yeah, that might be good for my kid, but I can't homeschool my kid, right? And now I know you're not a homeschool. You're an online school, Kate. So tell us about the parents. How involved are the parents in the process at iLead Online for the parents that want to be as involved as possible, and also the parents that are a little bit skittish about, I don't know if I can do too much to help support my child's education?
Sure. So no matter what, parents are our partners in education.
All right.
So we want to hear from them exactly what you said, right? Where are you at? Where is your child at? What do you need from us? All of the curriculum that learners need is already there. It's already created by credentialed teachers who know what they're doing and have a lot of experience. For the littles, the parents often partner a lot more because for your TK or your kindergartner, sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's just needed where the parent's doing those projects with the kid, but with that teacher or facilitator guidance. So the parent doesn't have to make anything up. They don't have to go searching for activities or for whether or not those activities meet standards. That's all right there for them, and they can do as much or as little as they want. And then beyond that, when you do sometimes have a parent who wants to customize, who wants to say, hey, my kid doesn't need this, or my kid's passionate about this or that, we can work alongside them to customize the content to meet those needs. Or they can say, you know what, like you said, I don't feel confident in being able to do this and being able to have this conversation. And that's where we step in and we support a little bit extra, right? And we say, that's totally fine. Here's what we're noticing. Here's what we think might work. Let's talk about that. And like I said, because those projects and that curriculum is already there and already based in standards and already created by those credentialed facilitators, the parent can kind of lean in as much as they want, or also feel comfortable backing out and working with that teacher and saying, you guys take it from here.
Fantastic. And I know you've also got parent groups that are involved in your school. So even though you don't have classrooms, you've got room moms and room dads and folks stepping in, supporting the school and organizing activities just like they would on their brick and mortar campus. So yeah, I love that, Kate. It's something that every parent can do as long as it's what's right for their kid. Again, making those educational decisions based around the child. Kate, let's talk about the future a little bit. If you could look into your crystal ball in terms of online learning, specifically iLead Online, looking into the future, because if we look back not so far, 5 years ago, online learning was sort of an anomaly. It was, kind of the outlier kids that really needed something different. But now, post-pandemic, it's something that folks have really warmed up to. A lot more people are discovering. Kate, your school has doubled in size in just a little over a year. So what are you most excited for about the future of iLead Online?
I'm most excited about growing our population so we can hear more about what kids want and need, and then we can respond to that need and that ask by expanding our hands-on opportunities, expanding our in-person opportunities, expanding our course opportunities, but all based on what kids are telling us they need. So the more that we grow, I think the more that we can, as you said, get even smaller and keep kind of like expanding those really cool learning experiences that I feel kids and families are craving and need.
Kate, you know what that reminds me of is I read years ago about when they built one of the major universities here in California, that they built the buildings and then they covered the entire campus with grass. They had no walkways anywhere. They put grass down everywhere, and then they waited a year, and where the grass was worn down from people walking so much, that's where then they poured concrete, right? They wanted to put the pathways where the people were going, not making the people go where the pathways are. That's what you're doing, but with the entire educational experience. I love that answer, Kate, that you can't wait to grow your community to see what else kids need so that you can create it in front of them.
Yes, that's exactly it. I love that. That was a perfect way to put that into a picture.
It is beautiful. Let's see what our kids need so that we can then provide it for them. So, Kate, parents are listening, and I think they've heard us, that if this is something that's right for your kid, you can do it as a parent because your staff is there. Your staff is highly experienced and they can support any family in doing this, regardless of what their needs are. If parents' interests are piqued now and they're ready to enroll, or maybe they just want a little bit more information, what's the best place for them to go and sign up or maybe get more information?
So the best place to go is iLeadOnline.org. That is our website, and everything that they need can be found there. Everything from how to contact us to how to enroll. There's a button right on the homepage that says Start Enrollment Here. How to sign up for one of our virtual open houses, which we hold multiple times a month for you to come in and get a better feel of who we are and ask questions that you may have. So I would say that that's your go-to point for your next step.
And what I love about your open house events, just like your school, families do it from home, online. It's lots of fun. I've been there multiple times, and so yeah, they can join us for the information night, the virtual open house, or they can just enroll now one more time at iLeadOnline.org. Kate Wolfe, director of iLead Online Charter School. One more time, that's iLeadOnline.org for your completely free, completely flexible, total wraparound support in online learning. Kate, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Matt Watson. You are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We'll be right back on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. Happy Friday. Gosh, it's just another beautiful Friday in the neighborhood. We just talked to Kate Wolfe, director of iLead Online Public Charter School. And I like to use our school's full government name, just to remind people that charter schools are indeed public schools. Public schools are indeed free schools. People ask me all the time, what's the difference between charter schools and public schools? Well, that question in and of itself is a misnomer. Once again, charter schools are public schools, just like your local school district. They are free public schools, and in California, what a beautiful state we live in, the funding follows the child. So where your child goes, there goes the tax dollars for the schooling. So then folks ask me, all right, so what is the difference? You're telling me there's no difference? No. There's a big difference. If you just heard Kate talk for the last two segments about her school, you know that there's a huge difference between a lot of charter schools and the traditional district. Charter schools, when charter schools were founded about 30 years ago here in California, they were expected, and they still are, to be incubator schools. We're expected to be innovative, the place to try what educators know is right by students, and that's something that our staff finds so freeing. So a lot of the things that our families are excited about in our schools nowadays, in all of our schools, those came from charter schools. So, everybody's doing project-based learning now. Well, yeah, at SCVi, at iLead Schools, we've been doing that for 16 years. Charter schools did that first. Social emotional learning, yes, we were doing it way before the pandemic. We knew how important it was 20, 30 years ago. Charter schools did that too. Dual language immersion, charters have been doing that for years. And when the world shut down in 2020 and everybody was sent home to do school online, well, it was Kate's school that taught us at iLead exactly how to do it. And because they'd been doing it for several years already, how long did it take for the rest of our iLead schools, even the brick and mortar classroom-based ones, how long did it take for us to get our kids up and running when the world shut down? Well, our kids didn't miss a single minute of class, not a minute. Remember on Friday, March 13th, 2020, when all of our kids went home being told that schools would be closed on Monday? Well, ours were up and running, but online at 8:30 a.m. the very next Monday. You remember how long it took the district schools to figure it out and reopen? Was your school closed for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5?
1 year. 1 year.
Well, they were shut down, but before they could open online, most schools were closed for at least 2 to 3 weeks before they could even open online.
Before they figured that out. Yeah.
At iLead,
Brutal.
we didn't miss a minute. Now, the thing that was very difficult was providing special education services, and you can understand that. If students couldn't be on campus, that was a really tricky wicket. In fact, even still, traditional districts are being sued over the services that they didn't provide while schools were shut down, but not iLead. As a matter of fact, our special education directors were consulting with some of the biggest districts in the country as to how to provide services during shutdown. That's right. Charters are expected to be more nimble, creative, able to provide exactly what every student needs out of their education, regardless of what those needs may be. And speaking of providing a perfectly individualized education for every student, no matter what, I wanted to spend a minute or two talking about an example of some of Kate's students. Kate was talking about iLead Online. I was hoping to have them here in the studio in person today, but, well, because of their schedule, they weren't able to. Did you know that the circus is in town? That's right. Circus Vargas is in Santa Clarita this weekend. They've got an amazing show, and I was actually out there just a few weeks ago when they were up in Ventura, and they put on a great show. This is not your grandmother's circus. No scary clowns, no animals being harmed, but Circus Vargas puts on an amazing show. And 3 of Kate's students actually perform in the circus. They are part of the Faltini family that does just an amazing act, mother, father, and their 3 kids, and they're performing in the circus. You can head out this weekend and see the Faltini family. They juggle, they ride unicycles, they dance, they do these amazing balancing acts. They are absolutely incredible, wicked talented. And yeah, they travel all around California and all around the country performing with Circus Vargas and doing school online with iLead Online. Yeah, head out to the circus this weekend. Check out the Faltini family. They are wicked talented, and they are students at Kate's school. Because, again, iLead Online specializes in providing that completely personalized education for the elite level actor, performer like the Faltinis, or a kid that just needs a different option, an online option for their schooling. So, check out the Faltinis this weekend at Circus Vargas right here in Santa Clarita. So, stick around. When we get back, we'll talk to Kelly O'Keefe. She is going to be here in the studio with us. She's with Circle of Hope. They are serving part of our community that has some of the greatest need, and they do just such an amazing job. And they've got some cool events coming up that you're going to want to attend. I'm Matt Watson. You are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We'll be right back on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. And my next guest, well, she's a local, raised right here in Santa Clarita, and yes, it is true that she owns SCVi Connected. It is true that she studied recreation and event management at Cal State University Northridge. Go Matadors. It is also true that she was recognized as one of Santa Clarita's 40 under 40 in 2019. But for the purposes of our show today, what's most important about Kelly O'Keefe is that she's the executive director at Circle of Hope Cancer Support Center. She's got a couple of amazing events coming up, well, that you can attend. Kelly O'Keefe, welcome back to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you so much. What an introduction. Wow.
So
you
glad
did your
to have
homework.
I guess I cyberstalk people before the
Yes.
show. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Kelly, you've worked for several organizations. You've planned a lot of events, which makes you really perfect for this role. Can you tell us a little bit about what Circle of Hope is and the work that you do in Santa Clarita?
Sure. Circle of Hope is a cancer support center here in Santa Clarita. So if you're a Santa Clarita resident, this is your support center. If someone in your family is diagnosed or you find that you're diagnosed with cancer, we're the first call that you make, and we help with educational services so we can point you in the right direction, because your entire life stops when you get a diagnosis like that. Sure. And then we help with financial element as well, and then resources. So,
okay.
Yeah. We do a lot of programming as well inside. I mean, that's the educational component. Mm-hmm. And then there's a lot of community building when clients come in.
So talk to me about that. I love that you say that. So after you talk to your doctor, the next call you should make after a cancer diagnosis is to Circle of Hope. Family calls you. Then what happens?
So usually if you come in, you'll fill out an application, we'll tour around. And I just think of people like Pat, who comes in and she celebrates it's her last radiation appointment. Oh. So we become family.
Sure.
You're going through something so intense and so personal that how blessed are we to go on that journey with you?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's, gosh, huge blessing, but it can also be some heavy work, right? You're
Right.
dealing with folks during their most challenging times in life. So, Kelly, what inspired you individually to get involved with Circle of Hope? And then, again, it can be so heavy. What keeps you passionate, keeps you dialed into the services you're providing?
Yeah, I love the nonprofit sector. I worked with a lot of nonprofits out here in Santa Clarita. And to be very honest, I looked at the job post and looked at the board, and I was like, wow, that's a stacked board. Just to be able to learn alongside them and mentor with some of those community leaders, I thought was an opportunity of a lifetime. And I'm doing what I was created to do, which is help people and impact their lives in a
Wow.
positive way.
That is beautiful.
I feel like I got my dream job, to be honest. Yeah, and I pinch myself. I'm like, is this going to get taken away? But I love, because you know it's too good to be true sometimes.
Sure. I get that, and that's beautiful to hear, because I am a huge proponent. Something I told my kids all the time when they were growing up, still tell them, they're in their 20s, is, you know what, in life, find what you love doing.
Right.
If somebody pays you to do it, then you're truly blessed. And so to hear somebody that loves work, it's not work so much.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That is great. And, we talked to your chairwoman of the board here on Eye on the Valley a few months back, Allison Lindeman, and I'm looking, you mentioned how great your board is. I just pulled it up online. Circle of Hope, it's circleofhopeinc.org. And you're right, you've got an amazing
Right?
board. This is kind of a who's who around town. Look at this. These are all folks that I bump into at all the different events around town. These are some hobnobbers. That's great. So you mentioned all the support that you provide your clients at Circle of Hope. So after a diagnosis, clients come in, they fill out an application, they take a tour. What are some of the different support services that Circle of Hope provides to individuals or their families that are affected by cancer?
Yeah. Every case is a little bit different, but in terms of support services, mainly, like if you're new and you just come in, we're giving you resources in the community on doctors. There's also other organizations that give money, so like Seroptimus. So we work together with a lot of different organizations. If you come in for ovarian cancer, we might call our colleagues in the industry over at Teal Wisdom. They're a nonprofit that specializes in just ovarian cancer.
Okay.
So we're providing that support that you're not alone and you're not without resources, so that the client can focus on their treatment.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that come in. They kind of seem to pile on to a cancer diagnosis. It's not just, oh my gosh, I've got this terrible diagnosis, but then all of a sudden, how am I going to pay for this? And
Yes. So that brings up, I just think of Joelle. She was going through her radiation, chemo, everything, and then her teeth became affected by...
Oh.
Yeah. And I guess that's sometimes a side effect with the
Okay.
chemo and the amount of drugs that your body is taking. And so we were able to assist her with paying that unexpected bill for her. And just calling someone up to say, we got you, we're going to take care of
That is
this
great.
is, yes,
That
amazing.
is great. So you provide financial support,
Yep.
but there are also other services that you provide to your clients. Can you talk about some of those?
Yeah, we do a lot of classes. So we do a grief recovery group. We have a grief support group. We do sound bath classes. So it's a healing class. I just did it the other day with some clients, and oh my goodness, incredible. I highly recommend that. Also, creative writing for healing. I thought that was going to be a class where like they're writing papers, like writing a lot, and it's more like haikus and it gets so deep and raw because you're just the nature of like the writing and where it's coming from. It's coming from inside, and there's a lot of bonding that happens in the classes that
I bet.
is none of my doing. No one's doing other than like the organization just brings people together.
That's a really good point, right? Because following a diagnosis, I think most of us, you get to be my age and at least several people who have been touched by cancer, and it's always kind of difficult, right? It's, I know how you feel. No, you kind of don't.
Right.
so you go to the grocery store and you're dealing with different things. You go to work or church or wherever you're at. It can be difficult, but this is a place where folks who are walking a very, very similar walk can bond, connect, share.
Yeah, definitely. When you come through those doors, we know that you've been impacted by cancer, whether you're a caretaker or a patient. And so there's no need to do any explaining. Right off the bat, we know, especially if like your head is shaved or you're coming in for a wig, like that's you're in a vulnerable state.
Yeah.
But we're there to support each other and make it, we have fun. We really do. Yeah, we play like with the wigs. We were playing dress up with a client, and she's like, "I want something fun." And there's moments that are so precious.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. So you mentioned Joelle and how you were able to help with her getting her teeth taken care of. Can you share another story or two that just really captures the impact that Circle of Hope is having on people's lives?
Yeah, sure. I think of this grown man that came in. I was new. I was by myself. He comes in with a stack of bills, and he's just explaining that his wife is one of our current clients, and we're assisting her with financial aid.
All right.
And to see a grown man cry in front of you because he loves his wife so much and she's not here, it's infectious. It's going to make you cry, and it's just, you feel the heart of someone, and to be able to help him in that time to take on those bills, even though she's no longer here. She's a client of ours, so we're going to follow through on some of those bills that she had submitted. Was absolutely incredible to help him. And then he mentioned he has a tattoo, and her ashes are in there, and it's just, you see people just in a different way, and it's really special to see love and generosity, and
that's incredible. So his wife has passed,
Yep.
but you still continue to support him because he's still on a daily basis being affected by that diagnosis.
Yeah, we still support his wife. Like if she submitted the bills before she had passed away, we're going to follow through on that.
All right.
Yeah.
All righty. Wow. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you can get a tattoo with someone's ashes.
Right?
That's really interesting.
So she's always with him.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
That is beautiful.
It really is.
Wow. Now, Kelly, I know you have. Well, you know what? Let's talk about this one in just a second. I know that. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that there's the need, but it's so fortunate that you're meeting it. You're growing at Circle of Hope.
Right.
You've got greater need than ever before, and so you're hiring, right? Can you tell us about that? Who are you looking for?
Yes, we're hiring. We're looking for a team member that's really empathetic. That you're going to be exposed to clients going through really trying time in their cancer journey. So someone that's really empathetic, compassionate. A team players. The job is posted on SCVi jobs, so I'd recommend heading that way. You can find the full job description. It's just me right now, so I'm looking for a teammate. Someone that
you need
we're
some
going to
support.
drive the bus forward
There we go.
and make an impact in this community. Because really, what household either hasn't been affected by cancer, or they will be affected by cancer? Because the numbers are raising, and it keeps increasing.
Yeah, so again, it's scvjobs.com. You'll find that job posting there if you'd like to join Kelly at Circle of Hope. You mentioned you've got an amazing board, so you're not alone.
Exactly.
But so it is something that can be challenging. You're dealing with folks in some difficult circumstances, requires some empathy and compassion, but if someone's looking for work and they're thinking, maybe this is for me, tell me, what is it like to work for Circle of Hope? What kind of feeling do you get when you wake up in the morning and you're heading to work?
Oh my gosh, you have total purpose, and it just gives you don't think of it as work. It's just so like mission orientated and purposeful and beautiful and challenging, because you can't solve the problems. Not everybody's problem.
Right.
So that's challenging sometimes to sit with that. But, you get to be like Santa Claus and call people and pay their bills. I just feel like that's like the coolest thing. I was telling my board the other day, I was like, how cool is it that I was called 8 people in a row and was taking care of their bills for them.
That has got to be, yeah. Gosh, I you know, I've worked in different organizations and areas where I've had to pick up the phone and say, hey, this is Matt. Will you send me money? How great to pick up the phone and call somebody, especially somebody who's really struggling due to something that is not their fault, and say, hey, I've got money for you. I want to pay your bills.
Right.
That's got to be really rewarding.
It is. If you don't mind, it does affect too. So sometimes we have to call the organization or the hospital, like where the bill came from, and it impacts those people too, to see that generosity. And so you're creating these ripples of like love and generosity. You don't see in humanity as much anymore. And so it's really cool.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's like, you know, when you drive through Starbucks and you say, you know what, I want to pay for the guys behind me, you know, that kind of thing. It puts a smile on the Starbucks guy's face. That probably times a million, I'm imagining. So, wow, that is amazing. Now, Kelly, I mentioned before that you've got, a couple of special events coming up. And I do want to talk about those in a few minutes. Okay. But Circle of Hope really has become known for not only their amazing care for cancer patients, but the really fun fundraising events that you do kind of every season. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the fundraisers that you've done earlier in the year?
Yeah, so we're a really fun group. The board is incredible. I've never met a board like this. They are so incredible. They help with every event. They each have a gift, and if we collectively bring it together, we've been able to host events such as like Vine to Wine, the Hoedown for Hope at Gilcrest Farm. Right now we're doing our 20th annual afternoon tea event called Seize the Day. And we are partnering with Mayor Pro Tem Bill Miranda to host an event for us. So it's so exciting. It's fun. We're fun.
I'm looking at your website. You've got something called Hoedown for Hope. I know you was that just earlier in the summer. Tell me about Hoedown for Hope. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, Hoedown for Hope was incredible. It was an evening. You're out on a ranch underneath the stars. The weather was perfect. We did a little line dancing. And if you didn't know any line dancing, we had some people teaching.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Great food. Copper Hill barbecue.
Oh, that is fantastic food. Yeah. And I went to the Vine to Wine event just back earlier in the spring. That was just an absolutely amazing event. There was a wall-to-wall wine and auction items, and you had a great live band there. It was an amazing event. Like I said, I do want to drill down a little bit more on the tea that you've got coming up, and I think there's another event you've got coming up as well. But we'll take a quick break. Kelly O'Keefe is the Executive Director at Circle of Hope Cancer Support Center right here in Santa Clarita. When we get back, we'll talk about a couple of those amazing events that I was talking about that she's hosting. You're going to want to attend. I'm Matt Watson. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. Kelly O'Keefe, the Executive Director at Circle of Hope Cancer Support Center, joins me this morning. Kelly, you talked about it a little bit before the break, but you've got a wonderful event coming up, just a beautiful event, the afternoon tea fundraiser. Can you talk to us about that? What's the fundraiser called? It's got a fun name, and then what can people expect from this event?
So we're throwing a tea party. It's our 20th annual afternoon tea, and the theme this year is Seize the Day, which is a play on like SEA, like the ocean. So it's a nautical theme.
That's why there's an
ocean.
Anchor here on your logo. I thought, okay, what does an anchor have to do with tea?
So every table picks a theme, and you decorate your table. You get together with your friends, family, or your workplace organization if you're a sponsor, and you come up with a theme that is in line with Seize the Day. Okay, maybe. So some sort of nautical theme, and then they get to come and decorate their table and enjoy an afternoon tea. So talk to me about the event itself. What's going to happen? Yeah, so this event is so special. It started actually in our founder Colleen Schaefer's backyard. And so it's grown, right? It's currently, we do a little bit of tea, but we also do food from Wolfe Creek, and there's going to be mimosas. So it'll be a really fun event. It's really educational, and this type of event is good for anyone anyone in the family.
Okay.
Yep, all ages, and to come learn. You're going to hear, we have an inspirational ambassador. Her name is Blenda, and you're going to hear her entire story.
Okay.
So she's going to be able to share. And there's a silent auction.
Okay.
It's going to be a fantastic day. And
Yeah.
it's an afternoon event, so you don't have to worry about, the evening being taken up on your Saturday.
Fantastic. So, so you're raising money through the ticket sales. Auctions are always a great way to raise money as well. There's going to be tea, mimosas, food from Wolfe Creek, as you mentioned. Wolfe Creek has just amazing food. Then you're going to have an inspirational speaker, somebody that
Yep.
was affected by cancer, I'm sure.
Yep. And we're going to have a speaker from UCLA Health. They're our title sponsor. You're going to hear from our board chair. And, Pam Werner. We got to shout out Pam Werner. She's
yeah.
our chair for this event.
Gosh, fantastic.
she'll be there.
She is chairing like every event in town. Oh my gosh.
She's the Energizer Bunny.
She really is, and she's got amazingly creative ideas for events like this. She and her husband Dennis are fantastic and very, very giving. Anything else special planned for this year's event?
You'll have to come out and check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is October 19th. It's
Yep.
from 11 to 2, and you can find tickets online at our website, www.circleofhopeinc.org.
Circleofhopeinc.org
Yep.
is the website folks can get. Oh, look at that. Right here, top right-hand corner, buy tea tickets here. You couldn't
Yep.
make it more obvious. Fantastic. So folks can buy tickets. Now, do I need to buy, you mentioned folks have the opportunity to decorate their tables.
Yes.
Are you selling just tables in groups, or can I buy an individual or a pair of tickets?
Yes. So we are selling group tickets. You can buy. It's like a sponsorship. You're going to buy a table with your friends, and come up with a theme together.
Sure.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be just like nautical. It could be like Moana can be a theme because that's ocean related.
Sure. Yeah.
Titanic. So it can be. There's so many.
There we
fun
go.
things.
Lower your table a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Too soon?
Captains.
Alrighty. So if, let's say folks are not able to attend, but really love Circle of Hope's mission and vision, can they still participate in the tea if they're not able to be there? Or how can they support you if they're not able to be there that day?
Yeah, you can always still support us. Our organization really runs off of the generosity of the community and the business community as well out here in Santa Clarita. We don't get government funding, and we don't have a national organization behind us that we work with. It's
Okay.
it's us and our board, and we've been able to sustain all of the wonderful programs by the generosity of the public. So if you want to donate, you can go to our website and definitely donate. You can purchase a ticket if you'd like for say I can't go, so I'm going to purchase a ticket, and you would call me and let me know that you have a ticket, you can't go, and
idea.
we would give it to a client.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. What a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. I'm going to challenge somebody. So tell me one more time what the date of the event is, because I know folks are flipping
Yes.
through their calendar right now.
October 19th,
Okay, and what time?
and it's at 11 a.m.
Okay, October 19th at 11 a.m. Check your calendar right now. Can you get there? Well, if that's the case, then jump on circleofhopeinc.org. Buy tickets here. It's a little burgundy colored button up at the top right-hand corner. But if you can't make it, do the same thing. Circleofhopeinc.org. Buy tickets, and then call Kelly and tell her, hey, I've got 2, I've got 4, I bought a whole table, and I can't make it. Can you invite some of the clients to come out and have some tea? What an amazing thing to do. That'd be a great way to get involved. So if folks are on the fence, I'm not really sure. I'm not involved in Circle of Hope. Never really been to an event
This
like
is
this.
perfect. You don't have to be involved at all.
Okay.
And you'll get to experience it and decide if maybe you want to get further involved. So this is a perfect event to come to.
There we go. So if you like to eat,
Yep.
if you like a cup of tea or a mimosa, just come on out, see what Circle of Hope's all about. Bid on an auction item. I'm going to put you on the spot here in terms of auction items in just a second.
Okay.
But bid on an auction item or two and just enjoy a lovely afternoon with other people who just want to help support their community members in need. And then see if Circle of Hope is something that you want to maybe give to every month or participate in some of the other events, because you've always got another event around the corner.
We always have another event around the corner. And yeah, you can always volunteer too. So maybe
great.
if you're not able to purchase a ticket for this particular event, we will take you as a volunteer. So come on out. We'll figure it out. We'll get you there somehow.
Fantastic. I mentioned I was going to put you on the spot. Do you happen to know of any of the auction items that you've been able to procure to kind of wet people's whistle?
Oh my gosh. So there are so many exciting ones. There's Magic Castle tickets. There's like every
Okay,
restaurant.
let's pause right there. Because you can't buy Magic Castle tickets. You can't go to the box office. That's somebody's got to be a member. That's something you simply can't get.
Right.
So that's great. What else?
There's so many like date night type of baskets put together with donations and gift cards and gift certificates to local places. There's also like actual tangible items. So we have something signed by, oh gosh, Travis Kelce, I think, right? That's Taylor Swift's boyfriend?
Yes.
I should know this.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, something signed from Travis Kelce. That is fantastic. Okay, so you've got this this afternoon tea. What is it called? Seize the Day, SEAS. It's absolutely beautiful, nautical themed. Folks are going to be able to decorate their table, have some tea, some mimosas, some wonderful knickknacks from Wolfe Creek Restaurant. But then when the tea's over, the day doesn't have to end.
It doesn't.
Does it? Because it goes from afternoon tea to Tropicana Nights.
Exactly.
Hippa! All right, so talk to me about Tropicana Nights. What is going on the evening of October 19th?
So Mayor Pro Tem Bill Miranda is throwing an event for us. We are benefiting from the event, and it is going to be so fun. It's a Latin-infused event. You're going to have music. You're going to have food, drinks. It's going to be at Sand Canyon Country Club.
Okay.
So maybe your calendar's booked during the day on Saturday, but we have something for you that night.
All right. Fantastic. Oh, or you know what? Lock up the entire day. Right. Go to the tea in the afternoon. Go to Tropicana Nights in the evening. Support Circle of Hope. I'm looking at the social media post here, and it says benefiting Circle of Hope. Light appetizers, sip on specialty themed cocktails, and dance the night away to a lineup of award-winning musicians. You know, I was in an event just a couple of days ago, and Mayor Pro Tem Miranda and his wife were just cutting it up to a Latin band. Yeah, so I bring your dancing shoes. That is going to be absolutely amazing. You guys have got quite the lineup for October 19th.
We do, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you're going to see information everywhere you go. Even football teams are going to be wearing pink. You know, It is everywhere. So there's going to be tons of opportunities for you to get involved and support Circle of Hope at all different levels of whatever you're comfortable with.
Fantastic. It again, help expand its support for cancer patients.
One of our big goals, and we're just about there, is expanding to the Spanish-speaking community. So that's a plus if you can speak Spanish.
Okay.
But you don't have to. It's not required. We have board members that can help with that as well. Okay. But we would like to expand all of our programs to offer a Spanish-speaking marketing. You know, anything we market, it will be in Spanish too.
Fantastic. So, hopefully reaching out to the Spanish-speaking community that continues to grow here in Santa Clarita. I just want to reset it for folks who maybe have just tuned in. Kelly O'Keefe with Circle of Hope Cancer Support Center. Tell me just kind of in a nutshell, what is your mission and what is it that you provide for folks and their families who are dealing with a cancer diagnosis?
In a nutshell, if I had to do it really quickly, I'd say we take care of everything cancer related so that way you can focus on your treatment. So if it's financial help that you need, if it's educational help, if there's support in any way, we are in the field. We will call. We have a connection. We know, like, we are the specialists. Like, when you think of cancer, you want to think of your diagnosis, the doctor calls you, and then call us at Circle of Hope.
Sure. So you guys kind of take care of everything else so that the patient and their family can take care of themselves. Yeah,
and we have really good relationships with other organizations. So if you're calling about a child, we would refer you to the Michael Hoffman Foundation. I mentioned earlier ovarian cancer. We would refer you to Teal Wisdom as well. So we have good relationships, and we just know about all the resources for cancer.
I think it's beautiful how well you collaborate with the other nonprofits in town. You know, our community is so generous, so giving, so caring, but oftentimes you can have nonprofits that are sort of in the same sector that it almost seems like they're competing when they really have the same sort of mission and the same goals. So it's beautiful that you align and work and collaborate with the other organizations that are kind of in a similar space.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're better together. So
yeah, absolutely. That is beautiful. So I know we've reset it a couple of times. One more time, where can listeners find more information about the afternoon tea fundraiser on October 19th, as well as Tropicana Nights, the evening of October 19th, or just make a donation to Circle of Hope?
You can go to our website, circleofhopeinc.org. You can also follow us on social media, like, subscribe, stay in the know of what's going on over at Circle of Hope.
Fantastic. Kelly, you're doing amazing work. And then you're looking for someone to support you. You're looking to give somebody a job so that you can continue to expand the services to cancer patients. One more time, if folks are interested in working with you, you've got such amazing energy. You have to in this industry, right? So if someone wants to be your colleague, where can they go?
SCVjobs.com is where the application or the post is. You can always give us a call too if you forget where it's posted. We'll help you out.
Fantastic. So reach out to Kelly at Circle of Hope if you're looking to have a huge impact on the lives of folks that most need it. Kelly, before we let you go, anything else that you want to share?
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our support bags that we give clients.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so they're tangible items, and it's all items that you're going to need along your cancer journey that maybe you're not thinking about, like a blanket, a journal for notes, a Sudoku or a word search, while you're waiting for your appointments. And then it's also just a reminder when you look at the bag and see that logo that you have a community, you have support. And so it's really special.
Gosh, really touching. So hopefully folks will get behind you and send a donation your way, or buy tickets to the afternoon tea on October 19th, seize the day, and then parlay that and go to Tropicana Nights in the evening of October 19th. Tickets for all of those you can find at circleofhopeinc.org. So go ahead and check it out and support them. Kelly O'Keefe, Executive Director at Circle of Hope Cancer Support Center, right here at the center of town. You're right here on Lyons, right?
Yes, we're neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for all you do. You have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.
You too. Thank you.
And for our next segment, I'm hearing that, Jen, we might be up against a little bit of a snafu. We're experiencing some speed bumps, but we're going to take a quick break. We're going to try to figure it out. Either way, stick around. It is going to be interesting. Stay tuned. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I'm Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. It is now time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Y'all know Big T. Big T is an executive and philanthropist. He's an amazing father, husband, and dog dad. And his therapist advised him to speak his mind more often. And, we haven't heard from Big T ever since. Here he is, everybody. He's Mom's favorite. Big T, welcome to the show.
That means I got a lot of stuff bottled up to say.
There we go. Speaking of having a lot of stuff bottled up, I feel like you may have hit a bit of a bottleneck earlier today, T. You were kind of touch and go.
I was kind of touch and go, and Big T's in an active work site right now, so there may be a little bit of noise in the background, but we'll see.
All right. Well, it's radio, so a little background noise never bothered anybody, eh?
Sure. I'm sure our 4 listeners won't mind.
Yeah, there we go. All righty. Having 4 listeners, I know that one is producer Sarah, one is Mom, and one is Dad. So is little Erica listening too?
No, Duke.
Oh, Duke. All right. Hey, Tony, I got a question for Duke. In fact, we're going to start with Papa's picks. How's Papa been doing?
We're going to start with Papa's picks. Papa is 2-1 on the season. Papa last week picked Utah, if you remember, and he laid 18 points. Utah won by 17. Papa missed it.
See, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I feel like most of those 4 listeners are going, what?
Yeah. Sticking with some college football.
Okay.
In 2019 in the Sugar Bowl, the University of Georgia played the University of Texas. In the pregame, both live mascots, Bevo the Longhorn and Ugga the Bulldog, were on the field for photo apps. As Ugga got closer to Bevo, Bevo put his head down and attacked.
That's a little bulldog.
Right. He ran over a photographer who ended up suffering permanent injuries, allegedly. So that photographer, Nick Croft, he actually sued Bevo's handlers for $1 million in damages.
Wow.
Now, I'm not sure our listeners really care about Nick, but they will be happy to know, especially Duke, will be happy to know that Ugga was not harmed.
Oh, good. I'm a little worried. I do understand that they try to slip a Mickey to those animals before they bring them on the field just to kind of keep them a little mellow. Didn't work, though, huh?
Well, that's not what they do to the LSU Tiger, where the Bruins are playing this week. I don't know if you know that story or not.
So I do know that LSU, they're the Tigers, and they actually do have a live tiger. They don't bring it out on the field, though, do they, T?
He is in a cage. He is right where the visiting team comes out of the locker room.
Where the visiting team comes out.
Yeah. There's some alleged improprieties that they do to that animal that would not be...
Okay, good. Thank you. Did you want to gloss over what they do to the tiger as the opposing team's running out on the field?
I don't want to touch it at all, but let's just say he's not happy. Okay. Nor would you be.
All righty. And with that, Big T, you've got some trivia questions for us. Now, what Jen and Andrew and I are going to do, we've got our buzzers in front of us, and our buzzers, every time we hit them, they say our name. It's really uncanny how close they get to our actual voices when we hit these buzzers. So we buzz in, it says our name, and then we'll answer our questions. Those of you playing along at home have a significant advantage. You don't have to buzz in. You just shout out the answer and see if you can beat us. Now, recently, I don't know if Jen, Andrew, you guys know this, but producer Sarah, even though she's got about a half-second delay because she's listening at home, she chimes in with the Facebook Instant Messenger. And there's a reason I don't keep Sarah on the board. She's been knocking the snot out of us the last few weeks.
A fast typer.
She is. And again, it's because she has that competitive advantage. So if you want to play at home, see if you can beat us. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it, though, because the three of us are pretty good. Big T, what have you got?
Yeah. Well, that's not the original Frogger. Truth be told, producer Sarah has me send her the questions ahead of time so she can proofread them to make sure they're okay. Don't want to sell her out like that, and she's screaming right now because that's what Big T said is not true. Anyway, so we're going to be looking at...
Hang on, my Facebook is blowing up. She calling you a liar.
To start. We're going to be looking at some math, and then we're going to go into some California trivia. So what day is considered International Pie Day?
Andrew.
Jen.
Andrew.
March 14th.
That is correct. Nice pull. How many sides does the Pentagon have?
Frogger.
Andrew.
Frogger.
That'd be 5.
That is 5. What is 52 divided by 4?
Jen.
Jen?
Andrew. Oh, shoot.
Frogger.
9. No. 9.
Incorrect.
No.
Incorrect.
Who's next? 13?
13 is correct. Nice.
Here we go.
Frogger's off the board. I love this. No, he's on the board with Pentagon.
Yeah,
what is the only... This you got to think about. What is the only number that, when written, has the same number of letters as its value?
Jen. 13.
Andrew.
Oh, Frogger.
Correct. Andrew.
4.
There you go.
4 is correct. Nice.
Tony, what is the highest single syllable number?
9.
Nope. Andrew, Jen?
Oh, no, 10 is higher.
10 is higher than 9, but still incorrect. It's 12.
There we go.
You were getting there.
All righty.
We were getting there. We're counting in our heads.
Once a booming gold mining town, what is the name of the ghost town in the Sierra Nevada mountains?
Frogger, is that Bodie?
Bodie's correct. Nice
Hey.
pull. Woohoo! The site where gold was first discovered in California in 1848 was the name of a closed Santa Clarita restaurant located where Quicho's is now.
Frogger. Claim jumper. Sutter's Mill.
Incorrect. You do not get credit for that. We're going with your first answer. Anybody else?
Sutter's Mill.
There you go.
Sutter's Mill is
Claim
correct.
jumper. Taco Bell.
All right. Big T, we got some corrections and retractions. That was not where gold was first discovered in California. And if you lived here on the east side of town, you would know it's in Placerita Canyon, Oak of the Golden Dream. Thank you very much.
Yeah, whatever. SeaWorld has locations in San Diego, Orlando, and what Texas city?
Frogger.
Jen.
Frogger.
I'm going to let Jen go first.
I'm guessing Dallas.
Incorrect.
I was going to go with Houston.
Incorrect. San Antonio. Sorry, Andrew. Didn't mean to steal your thunder.
He had it.
He did.
He was there.
We're going to give it to him.
He should have the point. Yeah.
All right. Good deal. Chips, a TV show about CHP motor officers, was shot largely in the San Fernando Valley. What were the two motorbike officers' names on the show? Frogger.
Well, it was Ponch and John.
We'll give you that. Poncherello and John Baker.
Okay. Okay, what was Poncherello's first name?
Ponch.
Ponch Poncherello.
He was Ponch Poncherello, yes.
Okay, there we go.
His birth certificate said Gustavo. He didn't have a birth certificate. He was a motor cop on the show. Come on now. What city did the Lakers leave to come to L.A.?
Andrew.
Minneapolis
Minneapolis.
is correct.
Can we get that again?
You got it first time.
All right. That did remind me, and this one's for Engineer Andrew only. Do you know how to say Mississippi in Spanish?
Yes, I do. Go ahead.
All right, Mississippi. All righty, yes, and our Spanish listeners are giggling. Jen, that's Spanish for I peed myself.
And English, I'm sure, are also laughing.
All right. The Oakland A's are on their way to Las Vegas. What city did they leave to come to Oakland?
Frogger. Philadelphia.
Incorrect.
Nope. Nothing.
You got me.
Anybody?
No.
Kansas City.
Did they? They were
They
once in
did. You're going to look that up. I know you are.
I am.
That's getting in your kitchen. From 1921 to 1951, the Chicago clubs held their spring training in California. Where did they play?
Frogger.
Rancho
Cucamonga.
Incorrect. Anybody else? It's just across the sea. 26 miles, in fact.
Oh, God.
What? No.
I have no idea.
Catalina.
Catalina. Oh. Yeah, isn't it Wrigley? There you go. Doesn't it have the mansion up there?
Yep.
Is it?
Okay.
The Wrigley Mansion.
All right.
What former Los Angeles Laker is silhouetted as the NBA logo?
Frogger.
Andrew. Oh.
Frogger.
Jerry West.
Jerry West is correct. What reality TV show follows the explosive lives of glamour real estate agents working at the Oppenheim Group?
Jen.
I'm
totally guessing. Ballers?
Incorrect.
The
Anybody?
Shaws of Sunset.
It's Selling Sunset. So, Frogger, you can make the determination whether he gets that.
I'm going to give him half a point. I was going with the Real Realtors of Real Madrid.
All right. What popular two-word rum cocktail takes its name from the Tahitian word for
Frogger.
good or excellent?
Frogger. Mai Tai.
Frogger. Mai Tai is correct. It was actually invented in Oakland.
Of course, where all great things come from.
Yep. Frogger, I got to go see a guy about a dog.
All right, it's just about time for us to wrap up. Anyways, apparently Big T out on the job site today, and so he's got to take off. Big T, thanks for swinging by. So let's take a look at the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew, you went into the lab last week and came out refreshed,
That's right.
and you hit us 6.5 points. Frogger with 5. Jen,
I didn't.
I don't have your
It wasn't
scoreboard
my
working
day.
today.
I
don't have your...
Don't, you can't come at me with math. That's just not my strength.
Oh, boy. Alrighty. Well, Big
Fantastic.
T, we do want to thank you. And a shout out to Big T. Big T calls in no matter where he's at, no matter what he's doing on a busy Friday morning. Let's see. How we doing on time? I
We're
think
good.
we do have to.
We can roll if you need to.
Alrighty. Well, then let's just recap. I want to thank our guests for coming in. Kate Wolfe was here from iLead Online. iLead Online is a free public charter school offering education TK through 12th grade, completely online, full wraparound service and support for your kids. Thank you to Kelly O'Keefe. Kelly is the executive director of Circle of Hope Cancer Services. They're providing services and support for folks dealing with a cancer diagnosis here in and around town. Thank you for all you do, producer Sarah, for setting up the show, getting us ready, engineer Andrew, and special shout out to Menji for all of your hard work to put this week's show together. together, engineer Jen, and I want to thank you for listening. Remember, friends, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along. Be well and do good. And join us again next week and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.